Hello. Welcome, Ms. Dipti and Ms. Udita. First of all, congratulations on securing a seat in India's one of the most premier law school in India, that is National Law University, Delhi, and cracking IELTS 2020. So I congratulate you and I welcome you and I thank you for providing your valuable time to all the students to us so that we can give insight and knowledge about ALET 2020 to the students who will be writing this examination in the near future. So there are some set of general questions with respect to the examination. I will put across the questions turn by turn, both of you can answer the same. So Dipti, you have joined LLUD. So how do you feel after joining one of the best law school in India?
I've been looking forward to it. I have already done my BLLB from National Law University Assam. So finally, like achieving it is really.
Great. So Dina, how do you feel after cracking ALET 2020?
I feel delighted, and it was not expected because I was mainly focusing on CLAT, considering that it has more number of seats. But cracking NLU Delhi was like a dream come true because IELTS is considered to be one of the toughest examination. And more than me, my dad was delighted because he always considered IELTS to be a very good exam for law aspirants. So yes, I was very happy.
Indeed, I agree on this point that IELTS is one of the most difficult exam to crack in India.
Yeah.
Okay. So Dipti, what was your strategy you adopted while preparing for the exam?
I went through previous year questions first of all that you cannot skip, of course, and then the subject which consists of constitution, criminal, tort, contract, international jurisprudence. Yeah, you need basic idea of all those, and along with that, the contract, Bear Act, and criminal IPC, CRPC. The knowledge of the Bear Act is must. For constitution, it's must. And after that, I tried to do as many questions as possible. MCQs were like my top priority so that I can achieve accuracy as well. Yeah.
Good. Okay. So Udita, what was your strategy for ALET 2020 examination?
See, IELTS always asks questions which are deeply enrooted in the BEAR Act, as Deepthi said. So BEAR Act is the key for any IELTS, for every IELTS exam. And more than that, whenever you're reading any law, just enter the depth of it. Try to, just don't do a superficial reading. Try to know as much law as it is possible, and of course focus on the basic laws like constitution, polity, jurisprudence, international law, contract, torts, criminal law. So, and CRPC, of course, this is one LLM entrance which does ask procedural law. So yes, focus on CRPC and all.
Also, one more thing I would like to add is some questions, like around 10, 15 questions, also relate to legal awareness, like GK and current cases, judgments. So, those were also really important. So, I also tried to cover them as well. So, that was also there.
Great. So there is a general query which every student come across while they are preparing for any LLM entrance examination, that they're confused between ELIT and CLAT generally, because CLAT has more number of seats, as Udita you also stated the same. So what do you think, Udita, whether the strategy for both the examination should be different or it is there on the same line?
So till 2019, I would say it was more or less on the similar lines, considering that IELTS was a bit difficult than CLAT. So focusing on IELTS meant preparing for CLAT also. But this year, the pattern for CLAT completely changed as we saw. But the crux is that you have to be very tentative and very thorough with the basic laws, because that will form the main structure of any LLM entrance exam, be it IELTS, be it DU, be it CLAT or any. But the difference comes like this year, if I look at both the papers, the difference was that CLAT was more sort of an analytical paper and jurisprudence based, but IELTS was more like memory based, bare act based, and it had typical law questions which generally are asked in the judiciary exams. So this was the major difference. But again, if your basics are strong, both paper can be cracked easily. And thorough understanding of the law, like don't cram the law, understand it, understand why it is there, for what purpose we are studying it, and how it is to be applied, and both the exams can be cracked. So it's not like you have to prepare individually for both the exams.
Great. Dipti, what is your take on this question? What do you think? Like whether preparation strategies.
Same question. Yeah. So I appeared for CLAT also this time. In fact, I prepared more for CLAT. According to their notification, what they wanted was recent judgments, and we need to know them, like legal GK as well. They were not really talking about the basics, but when we went into the exam hall, they were also asking the basics, which we did not really expect in the exam. So it was really an unexpected paper, but nevertheless, if people have studied Muslim law or jurisprudence or international law really deeply, they would be able to answer definitely any day. But in ALET, so we kind of had a predicted set of questions. Like we knew that the questions will be like this, and we were supposed to prepare in that manner. So I did not have any problem while preparing for ALET. So I was actually giving more focus to ALET as well in the beginning, but by the end I started preparing for CLAT as well. Yeah, but then yeah, this time they required different approach. So, but then somewhere down the line, CLAT preparation also helped in ALET as well. So yeah, you need to prepare basics, legal GK, everything now. Because if the paper pattern remains same next year, then yeah, of course.
Great. Okay. So, Udita, do you think that there are certain subjects, all the law subjects come in all the examinations, right? What are the specific areas of law where you need to focus to crack it, according to you?
If I speak about this year paper, then even for previous years, I'll speak for all the year papers. The focus is on constitution, polity, then criminal law, be it substantive criminal law or be it the procedural part. They do specifically ask questions. We've seen it over previous 4 5 years that they are asking questions from CRPC also. How much will be the weightage is never decided. Like last year, there were many questions on CRPC, but this year's the question dropped to I think 7 or 8 questions. Then, of course, jurisprudence forms a major part. I think there were about 12 to 15 questions minimum on jurisprudence, and that has been a pattern for IELTS. Then international law was asked. So, and then of course, torts and your contract law. For contract, this year they covered special acts like SOGA and Property Act. They also covered the Partnership Act. So all these laws should be studied. Like the first and the second year of your LLB, if you're in a 3 year course, they ask these laws very specifically. So yes, this should form the structure of IELTS exam.
So Dipti, tell me what according to you paid attention to like while your preparation journey. What were the subjects you paid attention more as compared to other law subjects?
My attention was more or less on contract and tort, criminal, of course, IPC, CRPC, and constitution. You cannot skip constitution. Constitution covers major area. They ask not less than like 20 30 questions you can expect easily from constitution. So definitely these four subjects were my strong suits. And that for international law and jurisprudence, I studied international law like statute of ICJ and UN Charter, and like little bit basics about like organization of under international organizations, and the theories relating to international law like monist theory, dualist theory, the theories basically recognition theory, state responsibility, and all of that basic concepts. Other than that, for jurisprudence, I had basic idea about all the schools of law, and I did not go into deep because honestly, my jurisprudence is not very strong. So I only focused the area where I'm strong at, and I think I can like have more accuracy. So that was one thing. Yeah.
Okay, great. There is one general set of confusion amongst the student between NLS Bangalore and taking admission into NLUD. So, Udita, what is your standard? What should be the grounds for a student to decide whether to opt for NLS Bangalore or NLUD?
So this confusion, I think I solved about 2 days ago when I had to finally fill for CLAT and for NLU Delhi. I was not expecting that I'll get into both, that I'll have to make this difficult choice, but trust me, it's a very difficult choice because you'll get different sets of opinions from all type of people, be it practicing advocates or be it students studying in NLUD or NLS or even the teachers. But ultimately, when I was deciding on a few factors, the first factor was the specialization. So like I wanted to always go into the business laws. So for that I looked at NLS Bangalore is a little better than NLUD. But if you're looking for constitution or criminal law, then nothing beats NLUD. So first preference should be given to the specialization. Then the second part comes is your faculty. So NLU Delhi, as we know, has great faculty for criminal law and for constitution. But on the other hand, NLS has good faculty for human rights, and they have good faculty for business laws. So that is one factor. The third factor that should be considered is how much time you are willing to invest in your LLM course. Like NLS Bangalore is a trimester and NLUD is a semester. So obviously trimester is little more hectic than your semester courses. So that should be, if you're preparing for say your UGC net along with it, or if you're preparing for judiciary, then this can be one of the factor. Then the fourth factor is of course hostel facilities. Like NLU Delhi is not providing hostel facilities to any of the LLM students, whereas NLS Bangalore is fully residential. So that can be one factor. Then of course the city preferences, like many people go for Delhi because it's a metro city and it is close to your Delhi High Court and Supreme Court. So people look for those opportunities also to explore, which are not possible in a city like Bangalore. So these are the five preferences, but the most important preference is the course. So I'll always choose course over the college.
Great. So, Dipti, what according to you should be the strategy, should be the points of consideration for a student deciding between these two options?
I think Udita has already covered all the points. My my preference was NLU Delhi because I wanted to go for judiciary. So constitution and criminal law specialization, of course, nothing beats NLU Delhi. Plus, it's in Delhi, so I'll have better connectivity from Delhi to other places. So yeah, that was like my two of the major concerns. Also, there's hostel facility problems as well, but then like fine, there's no hostel, what can we do? So yeah, finally taking admission in Anglo Delhi, but yeah, that's how it is.
Great. Okay, Dipti, so one more question to you. How did Lex Templum help you in your journey of preparation?
Major help I got through was through online classes on Google Meets. So Mohit sir used to give his valuable advice, and then there were classes conducted by ma'am for international law. Those were very helpful. And then there were mock tests arranged for CLAT. Those helped to certain extent to evaluate where I stand in my preparation. So yeah, it was very helpful. Like it kept us check from time to time on my preparation. So yeah, I mean that's the only institution probably I would suggest for CLAT preparation for LLM. I don't think too many institutions are there, but yeah, it was really good.
Great. So, Udita, what according to you, like how did Lex Templum help you in your preparation journey?
So my actually focus throughout the preparation was on mock test. But since the pattern keep changing every year, there was not much help from other coaching institutes. So Lex Templum, as I've said earlier, also came in at a very right time, and they brought the mock test, which were very tailor made for the kind of exam which we can expect. So mock test is the strength of Lex Templum, I believe. And of course, the second point is affordability. You know, so sitting at home and just paying a very minimal amount for mock tests, which are actually good mock tests based on the exact pattern, really helped me in not just knowing what kind of questions and where I'm standing, but also to put me in that frame of mind that I'm sitting and writing an exam in which students are from all over the country. Like, we competed with students even in the mock test, so that gave a very real feeling of the actual exam, which is not possible in the online classroom where you have people just from the city or just from your college. So that was one advantage, and this is where Lex Templum stood in my preparation.
Great. Okay. So last question I have to you both. Dipti, what will be the advices and tips you want to give for all the upcoming law aspirants who will be writing ALET 2021 in the future?
I would say solve as many mocks as you can and do as many MCQs as you can. Focus on basics. Basics are very important. It will never go waste if you prepare the basics. So definitely, like, make your base strong. Focus on barracks. Don't compile like too many materials. Just focus on one, solve it, and you're good. Like, you can solve it as many times as you can so that you are like prepared better and have been just, it just develops your accuracy, because ultimately it's an MCQ test. And also, one thing is very important, that don't feel bad if you score bad in the exam, because it depends like what frame of mind were you in during the exam time. It doesn't matter how much you prepare, what you do, but what happens during the exam, during those 2 hours you were sitting in the exam hall, what did you think? And every student has their own problems. So it's not just you. Who don't consider yourself as a failure. You'll succeed some time or the other. That's it. Yeah, that's what I would
Right.
say.
So, Udita, what advices and tips you want to share with the upcoming law aspirants as you crack both the examinations simultaneously?
The first thing is believe in yourself and know that you can do it. It's not impossible, it's difficult, but it's not impossible. Secondly, coming to the exam tips, be very focused on what kind of exam you're giving, have it in your mind, study daily, be consistent with your preparation, be sincere. Know if you're giving a mock test, then know that I have to complete it in the given time. I have to, do it with full sincerity, and I have to analyze it. So, give mock test, as Deepthi also said, and focus on the basics. Read law very thoroughly. Enjoy reading the law. That's very important, because otherwise you won't be able to grasp it, or you'll forget it in the middle of your preparation. Then coming to the mental framework, see, for any law entrance exam, we tend to believe that I have to do all the questions, or we feel disheartened if you're not able to perform all the questions. That is not a correct mind frame in which you should write any exam. Even if you do not know 10 questions and they are very difficult, know that there will be a good chunk of people who won't be knowing these questions. So do not base your performance on, oh, I'm not able to solve these 10 questions. Rather, focus on the other 90 or 100 questions which you are able to do. And the third thing is, as Deepthi said, do not be very scared of failure, because it's not the end, it's just a destination and one milestone. And of course, enjoy the whole journey of preparation and you will be able to do it. That's it.
Great. Thank you so much, both of you. I thank you from the in behalf of the entire team of Lex Templum that you, took out your valuable time and shared your insights and knowledge with the students who will be writing this examination in the near future. I wish you all the best for your future endeavors, and hope that we contributed in your journey in some or another. Thank you so much once
Thank
again.
you. Thank you.
Thank you.